Batman number 4, written by Scott Snyder, art by Greg Capullo. We left off last issue with Batman discovering all of the Talon's hidden spaces inside of Wayne buildings, activating a tripwire, and seemingly exploding. This issue picks up with him, of course, not exploding, but he talks about the tripwire is used to intimidate your enemy because it makes them think that you know the area better than they do, and blah, 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 but Gotham is my home, and whatever. So he's busting out of the burning building. He very narrowly manages to escape, but this whole time he's just recapping everything that happened, and that's most of this issue. It's just recapping everything that's happened with a little bit of new info in there. So yeah, no, he just recaps everything. He makes his way out of the building, and of course, he survives, but he is badly injured. Cut over to the Batcave, and Dick Grayson, Nightwing, has shown up. He's talking to Alfred, and he's like, hold on, you're telling me that Bruce is asleep, like he's resting? And he's like, well, I mean, I may have had to drug him with a lot of drugs. And so Dick goes down and sees what Bruce is up to, because of course he's not asleep. And he's working on the bones of his great-great-grandfather, Alan Wayne, the one who fell down the sewer like a couple issues ago. And he's doing he's just trying to figure out, okay, is there something weird with these bones? And as it turns out, he didn't die from, being stuck in a sewer. It turns out that he died from, a bunch of stab wounds. There were stab wounds on his bones. I think that may be revealed later, but honestly, I don't care. So then we just get 3 straight pages of recap. He's just telling Dick, yes, the Court of Owls, they found their thing, and the blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, that all happens. The gist of where it comes out of it is Dick's like, hey, okay, so I talked to Jim Gordon. Why are you so insistent that the Court of Owls isn't a thing? Why are you so insistent that they can't exist? And Batman's like, I'm sorry, Jim is disagreeing with me now? Okay, that hurts, but you want to know why? Back when I was a boy, after my parents died, I thought their killings couldn't be random. There had to be some bigger thing at play. And of course I knew about the Court of Owls nursery rhyme, because everyone in Gotham does. And there's a verse in the nursery rhyme that's not actually in the rhyme they tell us over and over again, of heeding their warnings. And apparently an owl had taken nest in the Wayne manor shortly before their death, so it was some warning that wasn't heeded. But anyway, he believes that the Court of Owl killed his parents for some reason. So he started investigating. He started doing his first detective work, and he started following clues from all of his family's rich associates and powerful friends, and he got a bunch of leads, and he traced it all down to this building that had an owl crest on it and a secret room right above the owl crest, and he's like, they got to be meeting here. And he went up to the room, and he broke in, and there was nothing. Just a dusty old room that he then proceeded to accidentally trap himself in for a week. And when he finally got out, he was comatose, and he decided, from here on out, any detective work I do, emotions are not involved. Cut back to present day, because that's all actually visually shown. And Dick Grayson's like, okay, you were a kid, and no one's blaming you for not being able to find them when you were a kid. And Batman's like, they're not real. I've looked multiple times since then. They're not a thing. And he's like, all right, you're Batman. This is your city. I'm just saying, it's 400 years old. Maybe something else is around. So he leaves, and Batman goes back out to investigate. We see that Jim has the bat signal on, but I guess that Batman's kind of salty that Jim is questioning him. So he just sees Jim standing at the light and is like, I'm going to go this way. And he just goes off. He goes down into the sewers where, again, his great-great-grandfather died. And this is where we get the reveal that he was stabbed to death by throwing knives. And apparently there was some, metamorphic rock residue on his bones, which is strange because all the sewer is made out of granite, which I guess isn't a metamorphic rock. So I don't know why he's still looking in the sewer then, but regardless, he finds a place that is a good place to start. And as he is literally carving it out of the wall, the Talon just jumps him from behind, pushes him through the wall, as far as I can tell, down into the ground. And he wakes up, and he is in a labyrinth with a Court of Owls like TV screen above him saying, "Welcome, Batman, to the labyrinth." And that's it. That's where the issue leaves off. This one didn't really do a lot for me. Like I said, it's mostly just a recap and then just character development for Bruce of like, you want to know why that like mild character thing that's been going through the past 3 issues is a thing? It's because here's another thing from when my parents died that I haven't told anybody. It's like, all right, yeah, sure, good, cool. All in all, and I do want to say the art, Greg Capullo usually does a fantastic job. Action scenes, no problem with those. But when he's just sitting there talking to Dick, I don't know. I was really distracted by a lot of the faces. I don't know. Maybe it was an off day or what it was, but it was. I was actively distracted reading it, which is not a good sign. So all in all, I think I'm gonna give this one like a 6.5. It's got some issues with it. The biggest one being of it. Why did like it? It moved nowhere for literally the entire issue. Yes, Batman survived the explosion. We all knew he was going to do that. You could do that in 1 page. They stretched it over to 3. And then this long talk, which, again, character development, no problem with, inherently. But then, within the last 2 pages, it's just, oh, Talon attacked you and now you're in a labyrinth. It's like, okay, I feel like we could have spent more time setting that one up. But regardless, 6.5. I'm still liking it. There's no problem with it. It's just a weak issue and an otherwise strong run. But I'm always looking forward to seeing what happens more with Batman.